なんだよ、一方的じゃないか。うちの方が強くて驚いたか。こうなるとは思わなかっただろう。アンデッドも恐怖を感じるのか。まあいい。
I'm literally gonna wait for you. And I see you're gonna be like, nah, I'm not gonna like it. I'm just keep watching.
Just subscribe.
And you think the clip gonna cut right here, but it's not, because I'm still waiting for you to click that like button. And the subscribe and the post notification button.
I'm not even gonna waste your time. This season of Solo Leveling is built different. But before I explain why this season is built different, I have to do the usual stuff like play the OP for a little bit and then tell you the premise. And then I'll explain why this season is entirely built different. So let's just do it quick. Now, before I explain why this season is totally different, I have to explain to you the premise. And this is entirely true. Believe me, I'm just a stranger on YouTube. So what happens is, Jinwoo one day was just chilling at his crib. He gets a phone call from a girl. The girl's like, hey, Jinwoo, do you want to come to this party? Jinwoo's like, hey, you kind of sound like a guy, but sure. She's like, okay, cool. The party's at this undisclosed portal place. Like, it's kind of weird, but it's a cool party. Jinwoo's like, you're a girl, so I'll do it. Cool. Jinwoo goes there. Jinwoo then thinks like he's gonna have the time of his life. You know, he just got invited by this girl, so he's gonna have a good time. But then, as soon as he enters the party, he finds out that it's not the type of party he wanted. Because as soon as he opens the door, there's like baby oil as far as the eye can see. And immediately he knew this is not the type of party I wanted. But it's too late. So they close the door. And all of a sudden, it turns out that the party he thought he was at is not even that type of party. It's worse. It's a party where they try to make you join a group, if you know what I mean. So what happens is they basically put Jinwoo on a table and they're like, yo, listen, if you sacrifice yourself, you'll get everything you want. We know what that group is. And Jinwoo's like, I don't know, man. Like, I was really here to just hang with this girl. Then there was baby oil. Now you want me to sacrifice myself? I'm not so sure about that. But then they're like, we can make you rich and like look handsome. And Jinwoo was like, sign me up. And that's what happens. But then all of a sudden, Jinwoo just becomes even way better than what he thought he was. He literally looks like a different person. He's becoming extremely wealthy and he happens to be extremely strong. But the problem is, you know, when you like sell your soul, I don't know anything about that. Basically, they give you tasks and stuff to do from time to time. So Jinwoo has to do those things. And that basically is the premise of solo leveling. But the thing about this season that makes it entirely different from the first season is that this season is basically this picture. Jinwoo is not playing. Because the most interesting thing when I thought about how to explain what this anime is like in season 2, this season is Spider-Man 3. Now, if you remember Spider-Man 3, it was basically like, have you ever wondered what would happen if Toby woke up and everybody kept on pushing him over because he's just Toby? And then Toby realized, I don't have to take this. I'm Spider-Man and I'm gonna act reckless. This is exactly what season 2 is like. Because I swear that system talks to Jinwoo like venom, because all of a sudden he is super reckless. In fact, he treats everybody who's kind of powerful or disrespectful like bums. Because there was this other scene where this buff guy who was like an S rank tried to grab him. Actually, he did. And he was like, hey man, you're not going anywhere. I have some questions to ask you. And Jinwoo just looked at that guy and said, first of all, don't touch me, you bum. And secondly, I just saved your crew. You owe me one. While you are out here lollygagging just doing nothing, I saved them. So first of all, don't touch me, and secondly, refer to me as Mr. Jinwoo. And he just left. Didn't kind of happen that way, but that's how it felt. Because he's literally treating elite individuals like they're bums. But the thing is, it's kind of expected. Because the cool thing about this anime is that just because Jinwoo basically sold his soul does not mean that he has to be this kind guy because he's getting stronger. Because the reality of what Jinwoo is in is that in his world, if you're weak, you get used, you get left behind. Basically, if you're weaker than somebody, you're kind of expendable in certain situations. So Jinwoo remembers the fact that if I was just an E rank, you guys wouldn't really care about me. You just care about me because I just so happen to be really powerful now, and I'm that guy.
So everybody stay on that side when they switched up. You switched up, stay on that side, man.
And that's basically how he's moving this entire season. But I've never seen a guy act this reckless, and I've watched Spider-Man 3 because there was a moment Oh, Jinwoo's that guy. There's this moment where Jinwoo basically, he got his ranking up and he's about to leave this spot. And then this dude who happens to be a guild master, so he's an S rank too, and he's feeling himself. He approaches Jinwoo and he tries to talk to Jinwoo, and Jinwoo just ignores him. Literally just walks away. Basically just said, "Excuse me, you bum, I have somewhere to be," and then just walked past him. This guy was so shocked that he literally asked the other guy who was with him, like, "Hey, did I tell him who I was? Like, why did he just ignore me?" And then literally the guy told him, "Yo, he knows exactly who you are, he just does not care." This is how Jinwoo is moving this entire season, and that's the most fun thing about this anime. I don't want to use the A word, but he's got that thing about him, and it makes this season extremely exciting because it doesn't act like it's something different. That's the cool thing about Solo Leveling. It knows that it's a power fantasy, and as such, we're watching a dude who basically was mistreated and abandoned in a bad moment before he basically sold his soul, and now he's that guy. And as such, he moves the same way anyone would. It's just like if you happen to be an individual who never got attention, and then one day you start getting attention, you're gonna start having trust issues because you start to wonder, why do you guys mess with me now, but you guys never used to mess with me before? And that's the cool thing about Solo Leveling, because this dude is just focused on getting extremely strong, and this anime really wants you to get hyped off of the fights and just seeing Jinwoo get stronger and stronger and more ignorant and more reckless and everything. That's the fun thing about Solo Leveling. It's not trying to be the most complex anime ever. It's basically, this guy's weak, he's getting strong, that's it. But the awesome part also about this anime is that Jinwoo is still himself, because he's not this heartless individual. He makes heartless decisions, but he's still that individual who wants to help his mother who's sick. He's still that individual who's taking care of his sister. He cares about his family. He cares about people who are weaker or people who are just genuine. And that's the cool thing about it, because you kind of like when Jinwoo treats these people who act like they're all that. Basically, how do I put this? You kind of enjoy it when you watch Jinwoo drop the biggest, messiest, smelliest number 2 on these people, because you know that if he wasn't that guy, they would not care about him, and in fact, they would treat him really badly. So when he acts this way, most of the time the people who get it deserve it. But the cool, exciting thing also about this season is that the story is also developing, because there seems to be a bigger plot, in that there seems to be more complex and smarter monsters appearing, because this season there's monsters that can actually communicate with people now, and it's kind of weird. But also there's a mysterious character who could potentially be Jinwoo's father. I don't want to jump into assumptions, but maybe not, but he's extremely strong. But the thing is, he has an interaction with an S rank, and he's kind of not impressed, which means that even the most strongest characters in the world of Solo Leveling, within the area that they're in, they're not that strong, which is worrying. But at the same time, it's super exciting, because then you know these characters are either going to have to get way stronger or bad things are about to happen. And that makes it even more exciting, because already when somebody's an S rank, you think that they're pretty powerful, but you're starting to learn through interactions that they're not as strong as what you thought they were. And these monsters are getting even more stronger, which means that we're going to get more and more epic battles. And this makes the season so exciting. This season has a lot of things that are good about it that it can offer you, because it's super exciting, it's super hyped, it's got a bunch of awesome fights, and well, the truth of the matter is, so far I don't really have any negatives to say about it, because first of all, I mean, there's only been a certain amount of episodes, I need to give it more time. But realistically, most of the weaknesses that this anime had, it improved on them. Last season you could have said, oh okay, maybe it doesn't have the best of stories really, or it's a bit generic. Well, this season it's improved on that, and it's shown us a bit more to the world, and kind of revealed that season 1 was basically nothing. We just started the story. We're going to learn way more interesting things, and that makes it even more crazier. So I don't really have any negatives to say about this anime for now. I know maybe someone might say the animation could be better, but I won't lie to you, when I watch these fights, I'm really intrigued intrigued. I don't stop and be like, oh man, the animation could have been. No, they're just that cool. But I know that some people can criticize the animation, but I think that when the peak fights do show up, I think that the animation will step up. But the animation is still good. And besides that, I know that maybe people might criticize the anime for just being a power fantasy, but I don't think that it's fair to judge something for what it is. And basically it told you from the start what it is. But then also in terms of the looks of it, speaking of the animation and the styling, it's really good because the way the fights are set up, the way they kind of just fight almost like a weird dance, like you just get so entranced by what they're doing that it kind of speaks towards how good the animation is because the movement is really good. And then in terms of the music's pretty good. I mean, the opening has Lisa. She's just OP, that's just what it is. The ending has the dude who, well, I don't want to put him in a box, but it's the dude who did the Tokyo Ghoul opening, so I mean, I like him. So the music is good, but also the OST is pretty good as well. Not the most craziest, but it does the job. I'm really excited about this season of Solo Leveling. Honestly, I would say if you're looking for an anime that's gonna excite you every single week, this is the anime for you, because I think that season 2 of Solo Leveling is really, really good. And we might be talking about this anime at the end of the year when it's time to talk about anime of the year. It's a little early, but it's doing that good of a job. But overall, if you really are looking for an anime where dude basically just sold his soul and is trying to deal with all of the demons that he has gained because he sold his soul, this is the anime for you.